Yo, what's up, everybody? What's up? Yo, today, man, it feels so great to be here again on the 110th episode. You know it, I love it. To of the edge, your face. Hold on, let me go back. Let me redo it. Of the edge, your face.
Yeah.
Show. And we're here today with my main man, the good man, Mr. Merrick Mcartha. How are you doing today?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
How's your day? How's your day going?
It's going well.
Okay. So I have been hearing, you got this gig going on, man. It's called Act Your Age. So tell us about that.
Yes. Act Your Age is a new sitcom on BounceTV, and it stars Tischa Campbell, Kim Whitley, and Yvette Nicole Brown. And it airs on Saturdays at 8 p.m. I'm a small part of the show. I'm in an episode as a love interest of one of the ladies, which you'll see coming up. But it was such a pleasure working on the show. It was actually created by Allison Faust, who's the executive producer, showrunner. And it's people have said it's kind of like Golden Girls with black women. It's kind of, it's a little bit more than that. It's more than that. But it's a great show about women who are of a certain age, who are older than 40, and they are they're single now. They've lived a life. They're all successful women, and now they're just going forward with their life as good friends and sharing their lives together. There's dating. They're just getting into adventures, and it's a great show. It's Allison, who's the creator. She said it's a show that she kind of, each person represents her in some way or certain points of her life. So think of in your wilding out days, or when you kind of had some moderate success, you're trying to be a family person, or when you are more mature, and you've had the family. Now you're just kind of trying to live a straight, narrow life. It's kind of that kind of three different perspectives and how they interact with each other.
So Howard, how did you feel when you first got the gig?
It was a surprise. I had auditioned for the show a couple times, and
okay.
Yeah. And I auditioned for one role I thought I did pretty good on, and this is all through Zoom, so I didn't audition in person. But I had to. Well, actually, it was not Zoom; it was tape recorded, or self-tape. And I thought I did pretty good. And I didn't get the part, which is fine. I auditioned for a lot of stuff, and then it came around again, and they asked me to audition for another role, which is also fun. And that one I got, and that was exciting for me to get to work with Yvette Nicole Brown and Allison Faust and the team, and that was a great experience. They run a really professional show. The experience of Tischa Campbell's been doing sitcoms. She's doing comedy for years. I mean, you remember Martin? She's been there for seasons, and she has. If you watch the show, you can see her instinctive comedy chops that you don't really find too much in that level of talent. And Tischa still has it for real.
Yeah, and, she's from where I'm from.
Right?
She's from where I'm from, so
Right.
Our Jersey people, we goofy.
Yeah. And Yvette Nicole Brown, she's on the show Community and done a lot of other comedy things. And her comedy can be subtle, but in this show it's not. She can go the range from being subtle comedy to just kind of laugh out loud, bombastic comedy. And that's what she's got that level of skill too. And Kim Whitley, we've seen on movies. I think she's on Next Friday. She's been in a lot of movies and a lot of things like that as well.
Yeah, she's on the Parkers too. She's on the Parkers too.
Yes. So she really holds it together well as well. You can't she has, one thing about Kim is that she has an intensity that can be intimidating, but she's able to funnel that to this comedy that also is really an intense comedy for you. Like she works with the other women on the scenes, and you can see she seems like she might be getting tense, but she's just funny. She's one of those people that doesn't have to try to be funny to be really funny. That's kind of how I see Kim Whitley.
Yeah, that's a. I've seen a lot of shows where they try to be funny, and you see other shows where you see other actors and actresses, they are naturally funny. You know what I mean? Natural. It just come natural. But yeah. So what is it like? Okay, what is it like
Well, also,
having to?
I don't want to miss. There's two
Go ahead.
other
Go
actors
ahead.
on the show that you might not know well. There's one actor named Nathan Anderson, who is
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Anderson's son. He plays
Mm-hmm.
the son of one of the ladies on the show, and he is. I've seen his work, and he brings a funny that you wouldn't expect. I mean, you see a lot of kids that are, their parents are actors and they get the job. You think it's just because their parents. No, he brought it. He brings it, and he has a real talent. He deserves it, and he earns it every episode. So that's someone to watch. Who else is there? There is a young lady named Mariah Robinson, who is also on the show. She's the daughter of one of the other ladies on the show, and she is fantastic. She's also very, very funny, and she works really well with Nathan. They have a lot of scenes together.
Awesome. See, like, do you when doing a movie, right? Because I've been noted. I've always wanted to. I always wondered, right? Doing movies, right? How does it feel to have to do on the fly auditions? You know what I mean? How do you handle that?
Well, it takes time and training. That's one thing about acting is it's when you're doing it, when you get to be able to do it, and they hire you to do it, it's fun. It's kind of privileged because they kind of pamper you. They take good care of you, so nothing's wrong. You're all taken care of. But it takes work and training to get to the point where they hire you. So one of the things you train to do is you train to be able to do stuff on the fly, like auditioning on the fly. Like I think a little known secret is that I did a show called All American. I did several episodes of that show, and originally I think I was only going to do like one, maybe two shows, and really small stuff. And the second episode I went to do, there was a problem where they had one of the actors couldn't be there, and so they had to basically rewrite a lot of the scenes on the show for that episode right there on the fly. So they was writing up stuff. I only had like a couple of lines that episode, but they wrote like pages of stuff for me to do. And through training, you learn how to be able to get off book and be ready for that and deal with that. So that's one of the things you got to be ready for.
Oh man!
After I did that, that's when my roles got bigger and I was on more episodes because I was able to take it spontaneously.
Right. So, how many years have you been doing this?
For me, it's actually only been about 10 years. So I started late. I wasn't a child actor growing up. I was an electrical engineer for many years before that. But I always liked to act, to get on and be funny in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a little kid. And I did some theater in high school. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and I went to a school called Cass Tech High School. And they have an amazing performing arts, everything amazing with Cass Tech, but the performing arts was phenomenal. Diana Ross came out of Cass Tech. Lots of famous people came out of Cass Tech. And I got into some theater work when I was going there, but I gave it up to go and pursue engineering. Because in Detroit, I grew up with my parents. They're like, hey, you get a job, you're going to get something good, you're going to do something with yourself. And that was the path that I set myself on because that was the influence I had. But as I got older, I realized that I wanted to do more with my life than just be in a lab, work time, which I loved. It wasn't everything for me. So that's when I said, let me go ahead and try it and see what I think. And I ended up doing like a short film years back. And it was one where when we finished it, they played it at a big theater, movie theater. And I saw myself on screen for the first time, and I was like, yeah, I could do this. And that was the first start of me believing in myself.
Right.
The other people kind of tried to encourage me, but I was like, nah, I don't want to it's too hard. But after seeing that, I was like, I could do this. And that was the start of me taking this giant leap into this career called acting, which is crazy. It's crazy. You got to be crazy to start.
So how long do it take to get done a scene to you?
To say that again?
How long do it take to get done a scene, like each scene?
It varies depending on so what happens with each scene is people need to understand is there's cameras on you, right? Typically, unless it's a sitcom like we do with Actor Age, they have one camera that's on you. So you do the scene, and then they put the camera somewhere else, pointing in your direction, and you do the scene again. Then they put the camera somewhere else, and you do the scene again. So you're kind of doing it over and over, depending on what kind of angles they want to get. So it could take all day to do one scene, depending on how they want to shoot it, or how much dialogue it is, or how many camera angles they want to get. So it can, So that's one thing about acting is you can, because you're doing it over and over in these scenes, you kind of it gets a little easier for you to do the lines, do the scene,
right?
Your scene part.
Wow. So, what was it like to be able to, go to different states and do different countries and states to do movies?
So that's one of the perks because they fly you out. They fly you out to wherever. I've always been flown out to stuff when I go out places, and they set you up with a nice hotel, and sometimes you don't have to, like, just a little secret in the industry. The shows that shoot in Hawaii, like, Magnum PI and Hawaii Five-0 and all those shows, if you book a job acting on one of those shows, they will fly you out, and they'll set you up for like a week and a half, but you might only work one day. So you got all those other days to do whatever you want to do as long as you're still ready for work. Because it's a long overseas flight technically, so they make sure you got plenty of time. They make sure there's no hiccups with anything, and in case they have any production hiccups, they want to make sure you're there. So you could be there for a long. It's like a vacation. So sometimes you go out, it's like a vacation. I went to do a shoot in Miami for an ad, and that's still running right now in Miami. And that was like a vacation. I mean, I was there a couple of days, but I really got to see Miami, and I got to meet up with friends and things like that. So those are some of the perks of being an actor, and is the travel. Other actors have talked about this. Like if you look at actors like Denzel Washington does this. Michael Caine talks about this. Like that was one of his big deals as an actor. Is they fly you overseas, they'll set you up with a hotel. You can see the world as an actor in addition to
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Shit. Whew.
Yeah.
Shit, I would love to do that shit. You know what I mean? Go all they pay for it? We good, yeah.
And sometimes like I'm in California most of the time when I fly out to Atlanta, but one job I booked to Atlanta was for Tyler Perry, and he sent a car to my house to pick me up. Took me to the airport, flew me first class, set me up with a nice hotel, got to hang out with other actors I knew on the show that I was doing. I ran into Winston Duke out there. I mean, Tyler Perry is one of those people that knows how to take care of actors when they do fly you out. So it was all first class experience with him. So those, again, some of the perks you have when you
shit, man. What about the food? Was the food good? I need to know. I'm a big guy. I love to eat. You know what I mean?
Food is good. You when you're working on a set, they have specific times where they have to feed you. Like you'll never go hungry working on a set. They have a mandatory breakfast, mandatory lunch break, mandatory dinner if you're working all day. And if you're acting on the show, they'll bring you whatever food you want. But they have certain food there. You just simply place your order, and they'll bring it to your dressing room. They'll bring it to your trailer, whatever they have you set up in.
I would like give me some spare ribs, some chopsticks, some chicken, hey, they good whole meal. They were like, "Damn, you eating all the food."
No, it's okay because they have usually like a catering company that comes out. If you're working like a big show or a big movie, you have, background people, extras on the show. And so they will go in line and a lot of people, like, especially in LA, that work background work, they don't have a lot of money. It doesn't pay, it pays okay, but not a lot at all. So they're typically struggling, so they usually enjoy the food because that's probably the only time they can really eat. Otherwise, right. But one thing I heard a good story about Vin Diesel is that he was working on a movie, and he used to do that. He used to be a background guy in LA, and he knew how it was to be poor and struggle in Los Angeles. So when he got on this movie, he would tell the background people, listen, take home as much food as you want. Because sometimes they'll tell you not to take any food home, but he's like, no, get a to-go container, take home as much as you want, because I know how it is to be struggling, to be hungry. And that was one of the better, some of the actors you can see out here that do really generous things like that for people, like take care of people that are working with them.
Right. So I got a question, what is the funniest thing that ever happened on scene, scene that just caught you like just busting out laughing, and you was like, damn. Like, have you ever, like, when you was on camera and a scene was so funny that you just started laughing and they told you to be serious?
I don't think that's happened. No,
one of the funniest moments.
Yeah, I've had funny moments. Like, I've had funny moments on All American because they like to joke around a lot. Tay Diggs is funny to work with in general. I remember years ago, I did the show Scandal. Kerry Washington. And it was a scene where, and that was a small part, but I was doing a scene where I was like this intense lawyer talking to someone on the episode, and she's there with her. And I'm talking, and we take a break to switch the camera, like I told you before. And at one point, I'm like trying to be, Mr. Serious actor. And Kerry Washington says, Merrick, you're so smooth. And I lost it, man. I was like, I'm a new actor. Kerry Washington, very beautiful woman, very famous actor, telling me, and it was like, And so Darby Stansfield was there, and she was the redhead on the show. And she just looked at me. She's like, Merrick, don't let it get to your head. And I was like, oh, it's too late for that. The whole crew started busting out laughing. So it was one of those moments where, some nice things happen that are funny, and you get to just kind of really connect with the crew.
Awesome. So, who are some of the actors that you built a rapport with, and every time y'all do a movie, that chemistry just strike? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I have a few actors, several actor friends like that. A lot of them are like me that aren't name actors. One of my good friends, Kristen Chandler, who's an actor who I started acting. My first movie was with her. And we're still good friends to this day. And we do an independent movie or not again. We just connect, right away. Other times I've worked with, the people on All American. That when I work, there's also people that I haven't worked with before that we just connect right away, and that's magic. And that's just magic. The woman who plays my wife on All American now is Sherry Boone. It's like that. Jeffrey Maya, who plays Simone on All American and now on All American Homecoming. It's kind of like that. We kind of hit it off right away. And also Michael Bellings, who plays Jordan on All American. We kind of hit it off pretty well too.
Awesome, man. You're on a big show, All American, man. That's like, what is it like being on that show? Like, is it like, do you get stopped in the street and be like, oh, that's such and such,
I would consider myself having a big role. I've been on a few episodes, yeah, but I didn't think I had a big role until I was like coming out of like Staples, and we're getting out of the car, and they're like, ain't you the dad on All American? I was like, yes. Yeah. Like, oh, okay. And I was at the airport, and this is during COVID, where I had to wear the mask. I'm in my mask going through the airport, going through the TSA, and the TSA lady's like, even with my mask on, she's like, aren't you the dad on All American? I was like, Yes, how'd you know? Through my mouth. I'm like this. Like this is all she can see. But she still is knowing that I was a little taken aback by that. But it's not. I mean, I'm not, I don't get swamped by people and that, but it's very nice now and again for that.
Well, yeah, it's very cool for people to acknowledge your work, to acknowledge that you've done it, because not everybody gets that love. Not everybody gets that praise to.
And they should. I mean, I have a lot of actor friends that either I know and I see them on shows, and I'll call them, I'll text them, I'll post their picture, a screenshot on this. Hey, it's my boy Joey. He's on this show. I always give everybody their praise because it's good to let them know that you recognize this is a hard job. I mean, even what you do is hard, and acting, what you get is a lot of no. You get a lot of, it's not no, really, but it's like you don't get to work as much as you want to work. Like I get auditions a lot, and I love the auditions, but they don't hire me for the job most of the time. And so some people say, "Oh, you get rejected a lot." I'm like, "Well, I didn't really get rejected. I got to audition. They don't want to hire me, but it's okay because I got to audition. And when I do book the job, it's nice. It's like icing on the cake."
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah, I never try to approach a job like I really desperately hope I get hired for it. I approach an audition like I want to do the best I can at showing what I can bring for this role and present that to them. And that's all that. And once I feel like I've done that, like I've sent them something that I think is really genuinely me and great for them to see, that's good. It's up to them. If this is the flavor they want to use, that's totally up to them. I don't have any control or knowledge of what flavor they're looking for, but I'm giving them what I got. And then they make their decision from there, and I let it go. I have to let it go. That's a big part of it.
Awesome. Because, doing what you do is hard because you got to do it on the fly. You got to do it quick. You got to be very quick with it. You know what I'm saying? And I've learned and I've seen that as you do certain jobs, like working in acting or like, okay, for example, it's like playing football, right? And you just getting on the field, you're a rookie and everything, you come from a college, right? And you go to the pros and everything's so fast. Everybody's moving fast, right? And everything is moving fast. And you're like, damn. And you can't really think or focus and you have to act quick. Okay. But as you get on and learning the playbook and learning how to make quick reads and everything slows down. Mm-hmm. Slows down and everything is moving now. You're updated with the speed now. You know what I'm saying? Your mind is downloaded. You're downloaded into your mind now. So you're able to. So I understand exactly. And that stuff is hard because doing what I'm doing, it's not that easy. It's not that easy getting in front of a camera for certain people. It's not that easy being able to talk and I have a speech impediment. I stutter a lot. So when I'm talking and everything, sometimes you hear it, sometimes you won't. But, well, I mean, you hear it when I'm nervous. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gets nervous. You know what I mean? Everybody gets nervous.
People stutter when they're nervous. So, but yeah.
Yeah, everybody gets nervous, but, you just have to basically put your best foot forward and just say, fuck it. You know what I mean? If I look crazy, I look crazy. If I don't, fuck it anyway, because there ain't nobody gonna remember it anyway, because nowadays, people tend to forget very, very quick. Like they have amnesia quick, and you know what I'm saying? Something bad can happen 1 minute, then the next minute they be like, oh, okay. I'm like, damn, you got over that quick. So it's like now it's like, you get to do things different, you know what I mean? And so what that leads to my question is, have you ever had any sad moments on stage or during a movie?
Sad moments like,
okay, all right, say like, for example, you get a call of a family member died or whatever, or you got a role where there's a scene in a movie where you have to fake cry and everything, and Was there ever moments in movies like that for you?
Yeah, I've done that in movies. I've also done that on stage, and I've done plays. Um, yeah, and it's, I don't know. I sometimes it's not so much as thinking about a sad thing. It's thinking about an emotional thing, something that gets you. Like music, certain songs will get to me, will hit me a certain way based on how they've what's been happening in my life when that song impacted me. You know, so some actors will do that. They'll put on music and that'll get them emotional. But I haven't had any real life things happen to me where I've had a problem. You know, but
Okay.
you're trained to kind of bring out those tears when you need them for yourself. You know, you're trained to do that.
Okay. Because that was a friend, right? His name is Luke Lucata,
Mhm.
right? And no matter of fact, my friend Kevin Lucata. Sorry, Kevin. Sorry about that. Sorry. Yeah, that's one of my good friends, Kevin. Well, Kevin, he was I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, like, would you train me to just do a scene? Right. And he did. He was like, yeah, do a scene. I'm gonna train you. And he sat in front of a camera and he said, gave me a scene where basically there's like this movie where a mercenary. I'm a mercenary and my wife is a mercenary and we go over to overseas to fulfill the mission, right?
Mhm.
But this time she goes over to the overseas and or wherever the mission leads her and she gets killed over there. And while the sergeant or whoever comes to tell me she got killed trying to accomplish the mission, I had to dig deep down in my bag and pull out the sad tears, the sad face. But I found out I can act a little bit. I can, what I'm saying, I can pull it out now. I can do a little something, you know what I mean?
Good.
But and I learned that a lot of actors dip into go back into those dark places to you know basically accomplish those roles and those goals in the scenes that they deal with. You know what I'm saying? And I noticed that, and I'm like, wow, they could go right back into what they've been through and just ace that fucking scene, and that is awesome. That's very awesome. Where you basically you go right back, but you're better, but you're okay now. You know what I'm saying? You're like go back and forth. You're crying one minute, then now hey, okay, all right. You know what I'm saying? You flip like it's a flip a switch. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
mean,
like,
yeah, lots of actors do it different ways. I mean, that's one way that actors do it too, is they go back to like this dark place. Um, some actors they won't go to any real life experience. They go to something that's made up, like a made up scenario. You know,
mm-hmm.
that's another way to do it. And some actors can just, whatever reason, they just physically can bring out the tears and emotion just by willing it to be, to be so. Yeah, again, but see, all that, it does take training to do it consistently. It's not,
Mm-hmm.
uh, once you finally have some skill to it and you work on that skill to develop it to do it consistently, that's what's really going to matter.
Right.
Because that's what gets people hiring you more and more because they know you can consistently do the work. You're not just
Right.
lucky, happen to be the right kind of character that just happens to suit you perfectly. You can be a whole different type of character and you can still pull it off and be believable.
Right. True that. True that. Was there ever a time where you got denied a role that you really, really wanted? How did you feel when you first got denied a role?
Uh, been denied a role. There's been a few auditions that I will admit that I would have liked to have gotten to be hired for. Uh, um, I think first thing is one of the first things you learn as an actor, you should learn as an actor, is to not take those things personal because it's easy to take it as a personal judgment on you. Because you think, oh man, what I'm not good. I need to change. Am I even good for this kind of stuff? And that's a trap because it usually has nothing to do with that. So I'm trying to think would I have gotten that I really wanted? Yeah, there's lots of things that I wish I would have gotten. All right, here's one. It's not a real, I wasn't life or death to get, but there's a show called Reacher on streaming network. I think it's either Netflix or Amazon. It's called Reacher. It's based on the movie with Tom Cruise, but it's now a series. And one of the characters in the show is this. The role is he's a black, nerdy, Harvard-educated detective who is basically transferred down to like a podunk country town, like Kentucky, some small town, and something like that. But he's like super, like, he's really smart, but he's also like too smart to be in this town. And I auditioned for that role, and I didn't get the role, clearly. But the guy that got it, he's a great actor, and I appreciate the work that he did because he did well. I mean, I can't say there's anything so different that he did than what I did in my audition. It could be a variety of things, but I don't dwell on it at all. If someone got a great role, that's great. What matters more so with acting and in the business is that you're constantly being thought of for the part, because that's how you get an audition. Not just your agent submitting you, but the casting director thinks of you for a part. Like, hey, maybe Merrick can play it. So when you do good work, even if you don't get the job, they know you did good work. So when they have another job come up, they say, who are my guys that can do good work that's like this? Okay, Merrick is one of those guys that can do good work. Let's see what he got. That's kind of how you really build success as an actor, is doing good work every time, whether you think you're going to get the role or not, and letting the casting people see that you can do good work every time. And they will consistently start to call you back in to audition for more and more stuff. So that's really, it's got to be your gauge for success. How often are casting directors calling you back in?
Yeah, that's a good way to go about that. Because is there like, do you get tired like sometimes when you have to do scenes late at night, like, or not, like when there are some movies where they take, some scenes, as you say, some scenes where they take all day. You know what I'm saying? Do you get tired doing those scenes, or do you love just doing it over and over and over and over again?
Yeah, I'm the latter in that. Here's why. Because it's a lucky position to be in, to be able to act on a major film or a major network show. I mean, it's skill, it's training, it's talent, all that, but it's also luck. So, a person like me that's wanted to do something like this all my life, even though I didn't pursue it until 10 years ago, for me to get there and be in front of Angela Bassett, or be in front of Yvette Nicole Brown, or be in front of Kerry Washington, or great actors like that. There's no way that I'm going to complain that I had to spend all day, because it's not an inconvenience for me. That's part of the dream. And living the dream for me in this doesn't always mean everything's great, because sometimes stuff is hard. You're gonna work in cold conditions. You're gonna work in uncomfortable sometimes, but that's part of creating this magic that we call TV and movies. And that's you got to realize when your dreams come true, sometimes they're not always just fluffy clouds. They're work.
Right. Yes, that's a very good question. Very good answer too. What inspired you to pursue being an actor and being a producer?
When I was very young, I found out that I could actually entertain people when I was like in elementary school. And I didn't really, little school performances here and there in school. And I got to high school, and the same thing. I was in like a little theater company in high school. And my mother, who passed away 10 years ago, she encouraged me to try it out, and I never did. I was still on the engineer, path. And I think she was probably the biggest influence on me when I really got to the point where I realized that this is something I had to do. That was her. But yeah, acting is unlike what people might think. Acting isn't pretend so much. It's not like you're lying that you're people say, oh, you're just a lying person because you're an actor. Acting is about telling the truth about how you are, how you feel in that situation. That's a good actor, not the person that's pretending, but the person's being truthful about themselves in the situation.
Right.
That's also what makes you unique as an actor. Like, you start acting, and you're going to start doing things that people give us the same sheet of paper, the same words on it. The truth from you is going to be unique to you, and it's going to be different, and not better, but different than the truth that would come from me if I read the exact same words that you're reading off that paper when you're acting.
Right. That is true. That's very true. That's very true, man. Like what makes you enjoy this work so much? What?
I think it's cathartic for one. I get to let things out. As a being as old as I am, been through a lot in my life. Growing up in Detroit, moving out to California, having a family, having a big family back home too. Lots of things happen in your life, and lots of things that impact you and affect you. And as you operate as a person in society, you kind of operate a certain way where this is my comfort area. This is where I am comfortably. This is how I dress comfortably. I don't wear a sweater. I don't look like, I don't look like Mr. Rogers every day. But I'm typically comfortable in how I dress and how I talk and how I do things. So acting is one thing that you get to be outside of that. So
Right.
I say people that aren't me, that are doing something that I haven't dealt with usually, or I'm not dealing with currently, and I get to step out. And that's when, for me, I'm able to unleash things that are deep down in me that are true, that I don't normally get to do in my everyday life. Because I typically, I'm a very grateful person. I have a very good life. My family's wonderful. So I don't really, I can't really complain about anything. But when you're acting a scene, there's usually some kind of drama to deal with. Something is stopping you from getting something that you want. And those are times when, for me, letting out those things for me just helps me helps me as a person, as a spirit, just kind of, let that other part of my life come out that I don't normally get to show for whatever reason. So that brings me a true happiness that I don't get from anything else. I was an engineer. I could solve math problems from here to next Sunday, but it wasn't bringing out everything in me like acting does.
Right. Oh, okay. So with with the big body of work that you have in front of you, with all the things that you've accomplished, right? Do you think that you have done some damage into getting where you want to be, or do you feel like you still haven't knocked down that wall yet?
I think it's still happily a work in progress for me. I feel like I've done some damage in that I built a good resume. I have a certain goal that I want to get to that I haven't gotten to yet, but I'm not angry about it. I'm like, I'm working towards that. I have a better sense of what it takes to have that goal, so I'm working towards that. And that doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me at all. It if anything, motivates me to build and grow and be everything that I want to be.
Man, you're smooth, man. You're smooth. What was your proudest accomplishment in the business?
Proudest accomplishment. well, my children are always important. But as far as my career, let's see. There's several things. I mean, I was on an episode of This Is Us with Sterling K. Brown. Working with him was a product. You know, we really hit it off well. Worked a couple of days together, and also working with Angela Bassett on the show 911. Working with an actor that I've seen since I was very young. How wonderful she is as an actor. She's an icon in the Black community, and my role was to be basically, mean to her, and it was a challenge only because in my head I'm thinking that's Angela Bassett, who's one of the greatest actors alive right now. Here I am, still working my way up. So, but that was still a very, very proud moment for me to be able to share a scene with her and with Dawn Lewis, who was also in that same scene, who's an amazing Tony-winning actress herself.
It's crazy. Miss Dawn Lewis, she's actually from where I'm from.
Really?
She's actually from, she's from the, she went to school with my dad's brother.
Really?
Yeah, she went to school with my dad's brother. I think she went to Camden High School.
Okay, yeah.
And she's from Camden. I know she is. She's a Camden native, of course.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm so happy that people from my actual city, where I'm homegrown, I'm so happy that a lot of people actually made it out of the city of Camden, because not everybody makes it out. Not everybody makes it
really
to the big time,
right?
Because the city of Camden, it's a very intricate type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, you can become a product of your environment very quickly. You know what I'm saying? Very quickly. And if you're a person that has not been around the type of place Camden is, you'll adapt to it rather quickly, and it'll take hold of you if your mind is not already formed to be in what you want to be. You know what I'm saying? It'll form to what it wants you to be. And if you're not strong-minded, it could get you all into some stuff that you don't want. But me being from Camden, I'm very proud of the people that has gotten out of here, and I'm not saying Camden is a bad place. It's just some of the people that make it bad that makes it a bad place. You know what I mean?
I feel the same way about Detroit, where I'm from. Like, you can fall hard in Detroit and get sucked up in some stuff, but if you have that state of mind and mainly that support. Like, a lot of people don't talk about this. The support of a community that can help you see the bigger, better things in life than what if you might be down. There's bigger, better things you can strive for, and a lot of people don't have that. And it's not just you, but it's also a support system. So that's another thing.
Not a lot of
all need to work on. Building support system.
Yeah, coming from the ghetto, coming from the hood, it's not easy. You know what I mean? It's not at all, because you got so many obstacles to overcome. You got bullets flying over your head every other day. You got people trying to pull you down, keep you where they want you to keep you, and then you got the school systems. So you're not really getting the education. You don't really have some kids nowadays don't have a full household of a parent.
Right.
Don't even have a parent or a father or mother.
Right.
And a lot of kids go through that, and that's why I say the city of Camden and Detroit and all those places, and Chicago and all those places that have a hood that has a ghetto within it. You have people like us that's trying to make it out of there, that's trying to break down that wall of success and get in there and reach the goals. But sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's not easy. You know what I'm saying?
And it's not even the fault of the person. So like you and me coming from my parents grew up in the ghetto. I grew up in the ghetto as a kid. My grandmother lived in the projects. I would go there every weekend. Most of the times they're all summer. So I grew up in that. But I have my parents who, and a large family of uncles and aunts who just kind of this mindset of getting out. We have other people that we knew that were not of that mindset. And so imagine you finally do have that community of people that's with you to show you, hey, this is what you can do, go to school and figure out what you want to do with your life to make yourself better for yourself outside of here. So imagine you have that. And then you find out in the real world today that there's still roadblocks that have nothing to do with you, that are just there because of the history of this country that people don't want to admit to, buying a house, getting a job. So there are roadblocks that you have no control, and that's just because there is this thing that we call systemic racism that's in this country that people don't want to admit to. So that's another thing that people don't want to, they beat you up on, like, oh, you got to do it yourself. It's all, you should be able to get out of this yourself. I did it, you should be able to do it. No, it's not just you have the mindset. There's other things that are going to be blocking you that you don't even expect half the time. So it's
exactly
hard. It's a lot. You're right.
Yeah, and people seem to forget about that. You know what I'm saying? It's people that have made it out of Camden that has forgot where they came from. Right. You know what I'm saying? And they just don't come back. They don't understand. They let their success get to their head and destroy the legacy that they've made or legacy that they have back at home. And they be like, they look down on it. And you don't look down on a place where you came from, because you never know. Things can happen where you can go right back to it, and you can end up like the people that you look down on. And that's why I was always taught to take advantage of every opportunity you get to succeed, because not everybody is getting a piece of pie. Not everybody has a chance to get that piece of pie that you have. Not everybody has that chance to do podcasts. Not everybody has that chance to to basically do what we're doing right now, and not everybody has a chance to even reach where we're at. And that's why I take advantage of everything, and I don't take nothing for granted, because if you take it for granted, it can easily be taken away, and you can easily become like the ones that you look down upon. And that's why I try to help as many people as possible, because not everybody can get there on their own. Not everybody can get to the success on their own. You got somebody that's pushing you. You got somebody that's lifting you. You got somebody that's helping you along the way. There's always somebody. And
always somebody. Never believe anyone says, "Oh, I did this all myself." No, you didn't. You
exactly.
You had some ideas of yourself, but to make things happen for you, it took other people to do. People. So you can't. There's no such thing as this, rugged individualism where I did it all myself. No, you haven't done anything else. You're bazillionaire, millionaire. No, you didn't do that yourself. Without people around you, without people working for you, without people buying your product, without people patronizing you, you wouldn't be where you are. So you always have to know that it wasn't just you. There's other people around you that contributed to your success always. And be grateful and be ready to help and give back when you can.
Right, because like I've been saying, you don't get there all the time. You don't see people making it out of Detroit like that, do you?
No. I mean, I see a lot. My friends I went to high school with, successful people by and large. But it was a high school where all of us as a class, we had that community that was all pushing us up to go to college, to get out there and do stuff. A lot of other people a lot of other places out there didn't have that, and they're still there. And not everybody is unhappy being there in Detroit, but there are certainly people that wish they had gotten away or got to do something else,
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell a little story. When it came to high school, man, we had 5,000 people, 5,000 kids, right? And when I first started at school, and we graduated with 100 people
in your class.
In my class.
Wow.
In my class of graduation.
Wow.
And you think to yourself, Why is that? Well, because a lot of them either drop out, a lot of them have kids, and they can't juggle two things at once, and
Yeah.
some things happen. Some people take it for granted. Some people just don't have it. But
Right.
in all reality, in all honesty, all the friends, and this is what I learned, all the friends that you garnered in high school or elementary school, middle school, some of those friends that some of let's just put it like this: some of the friends that you've grown up with
Hmm.
will not be some of those will not be your friends growing out with.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I learned that. You know what I'm saying? And being a success is very lonely, very lonely. Being a success is very, very lonely. You don't really have many friends because as you are in a success, even when you're getting there, you have to watch for people stabbing you in the back. You have to watch for people, you know, doing shit against you or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that success come with that. Success comes with the highs and the lows, and you have to be ready for that. And that's where learning patience come in about. You have to learn patience to learn those things and how to move, how to think fast. You know what I'm saying? How to think on your feet. All those things. If you don't learn patience, woo, this world is going to eat you alive.
Yeah.
And I had to learn patience, or else I wouldn't have been able to do what I'm doing
So
because,
what helps you with maintaining your patience? Like what helps you?
well, you know, my faith in God for one. Um, just being able to to show that just being able to believe, being able to get up every morning, you know what I'm saying, and just look at myself in the mirror and just know that I'm a I'm still improving as a man. I'm still improving as a king. I'm still improving as a podcast host, which I'm the best host in the game. Oh well, don't worry about it. Hey man, yeah, I got to put that out there. But you know what I'm saying. You know, to be honest, it makes me happy to have patience. It makes me happy that I learn to take the process and become one with it, because that process, that's a blessing. You have to fall in love with the process. If you really want to be successful in this world, you have to fall in love with it, because that process will creep up on you and it's going to take you whether you like it or not. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't going to get nowhere if you don't. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm so happy that where I'm at right now. You
Good.
know.
And that's the same thing with acting too. You have to be in love with what you're doing. You have to be in love with auditions. You have to be, you have to be committed to this, because if you're not, then you're not going to have the success you want. Even if by some miracle that you do get catapulted up into the stratosphere and you don't love it, then it's going to destroy you. You're going to fall harder, because I think that's what happens to a lot of actors that we know and see that have these tumbles down, because it was sort of a fluke that they got there in the first place. They weren't really loving it, and now they're there and they're miserable, or they sabotage themselves. So that's another key to success, is really love what you're doing, love the process of doing what you're doing, not just what doing it, but the process of it. Like you love setting up. You love creating the graphics and figuring out the marketing for the show and doing legwork with making sure you're managing hosts and guests and things like that. You love that part. That's, it's not just this. People go, oh,
Hmm.
it's nice you just talk, but no, you put a lot of work behind it, and that's the part you gotta love. Just like with anything,
Yeah.
any skill or anything that you're doing that you're successful in.
Right.
Michael Jordan stories. He worked hard. He's got to shoot 10,000 times before he feels comfortable or something like that. All these things are about
Yeah.
part of it. You got to love it.
Yeah. And that's why, the one person that really inspired me, well, 5 people that really inspired me. You know, Mike Tyson, Michael Jordan, you know, Michael Jackson, just people, all those success stories, like all those hardworking people.
Mm.
They took parts of me and helped me become better. You know what I'm saying? And become a great person like I am today. And to do my work that I'm doing at a high level, because like I said, this stuff is not easy. It's not easy keeping up with guests and stuff like that. Like I tell you, I couldn't do this 2 years ago. I wouldn't be able to do it.
Really?
Because to be honest with you, if you would have told me that I was going to be this fat, this far 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I would have looked at you like you're crazy. But binge, though, I was told that I was going to do it. I was told that I was going to be great at it. I was going to be a success at it, and my show was going to be huge. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I would have, wouldn't have bought it because I was so full of things wasn't working, things wasn't going fast the way I wanted it to go, and I was getting setback after setback after setback after setback, and going through the motions, going through being right there but getting pulled right back down, getting right there and being pulled right back down again, right back, pulled right back down. And it used to always happen. So when that shit always used to happen to me, it's like, damn, I'm right there, but pull it right back down. And then you get stumped, and things just takes a lot out of you. I cried a lot of tears. I've had a lot of dark days waiting to get here, waiting to get to this moment, to get to this point. And I ain't done yet. You know what I'm saying? I ain't do nothing compared to what I'm going to do years from now. Now, my big goal is to have 5,000 episodes in 3 years.
Really? That
5,000.
That is doable, right? Yeah.
5,000 episodes in 3 years. I'm going to blow this motherfucking roof. Oh, watch. You damn right. I'm going to take it and run with it. You damn right. Because I tell you what, it's something that I love doing. And I love proving the haters wrong. I love it. I love laughing in their face. I love it when they come up to me and be like, yo, I didn't think you was going to do it, but you did it. Thank you. Bye. You know what I'm saying? It makes me feel good. Well, not treating them like shit. I don't treat them like shit, of course, but I laugh. I'm like, now you want to be my friend after you done doubted me, after you done came against me. Now you want to be my friend. Nah, I'm good. Mm-hmm. Take that right back over there. And the people that know me, people that have seen me grow, that have seen me build this excuse my French. People that have seen me grow, people that have seen me through all these episodes, people that have watched me go through it. First episode, man, they still here to this day. You may not see them because they're not commenting and they watching, but they will tell you, before I conquered the storm, I was raw as hell. But I'm about to master this motherfucker. Easy. I'm about to master, because if you really look at it like this, the other podcasters that's doing what I'm doing, they didn't get there that fast like I did.
Right.
But hey, I'm telling you, when you're hungry and when you're on fire, and like I tell my friends, like I tell my boys, when I'm in my zone, can't nobody stop me. And I'm in my zone. Ain't nobody gonna stop me. Nothing. And I'm not trying to make this about me.
No, I just want to. It's good.
I just want to show you that I'm rooting for you as well as you're rooting for me. And hey, as long as we stick together, as long as we grow together, as long as we look good and swagnificent, we be good. You know what I mean? Right. So as long as we can do it right, and we do it good, we'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? But everything works to its possibilities. And you know what? I want to learn how to do a pilot. I want to learn how to do a pilot, like a pilot for a show that I'm building.
Right.
But I don't know how to do it. I want to learn. I want to learn from jot to jot to jot. Like if somebody got to sit me down, teach me. I want to learn everything.
Yeah, I think there's ways to find out. There might be some people that teach that stuff. You're talking about like having it pitched and produced for a network, like a pilot to be pitched and produced by a network, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a process from what I hear. I haven't done anything like it myself, but yeah, you want to have, a whole book of the whole plan, the whole philosophy behind your show, and who's what character, and the very detail of each main character and what they're about. And then you got to put together a sort of what's called a trailer, like a little teaser trailer, like a quick little short about the show. I mean, these are all things you got to put together. And then you got to know some people. You got to know some people that can present or pass your stuff along to. But yeah, it's a process, man. But you can do that. You're doing this the way you're doing it. You can do that too.
Well, yeah, I have a 10-year contingency goal. You know what I'm saying? 10 years, I plan on being as wealthy as wealthy as one of my big role models, Mr. Jerry Jones. I plan on being rich as him, but in 5 years, I plan on having a very successful show and being a millionaire, a multimillionaire, as I might add. But these are my growing years within the 5-year period. This is my second year kicking ass and taking names. You know what I'm saying? And I'm on my way to my third. So this is in the midst of my 5 years. Like I told you, I'm telling you, I'm kicking ass and taking names, and I have a plan. I have a plan to knock and punch life in its mouth. And if life takes me down and kick my ass, so be it. As long as I went down fighting. And
as long as you went for it, right?
Exactly. As long as I went for it and punched them in the mouth and got my hits off, hey, I got it. You know what I'm saying? I got it. I got my hits. You know what I'm saying?
The schoolyard rules, and yeah.
I may got a couple black eyes and walk around looking crazy, but as long as I got, hell yeah. You know what I mean? I got my money's worth. I got my hits in. But no, that's just the way things is. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have a plan. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I don't plan on stopping. I don't plan on giving up. I plan on keep going, because there's giants and there's walls that need to be broken in order for me to get where I want to be, and I'm ready to eat. Because I love talking to the guests that I have on here and showing them who I am. So that makes them want to open up to me and want to come back on the show and open up more to me, open up more and show more of them, because that builds rapport, that builds relationships. And if we could do that, just imagine what we could do when we get on a bigger stage.
Right.
So what you think? What's your thoughts, brother?
No, I think you got it. I think having the game plan like you have it and being committed like you are, those are some key essentials right there for one. I mean, I find myself coming back on here after some other compliments and say, hey, let's catch up on what's been going on, what's new, what's what. And you can tell me, I love that.
Hell yeah. Look, you let me know whenever you're ready to come on, and I will work it out.
Okay.
I will work it out like it ain't no thing, like it all things, and like it everything.
Good.
Let's get it. Let's do it well, because we got something to accomplish. You damn right. Right.
I definitely appreciate you inviting me on, man. It's been really good talking to you.
It's awesome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Let me take us out of here, my brother. Thank y'all for watching. It's been well. I love y'all. And it's been the In Your Face show. And we out. Peace.